I'm here today to speak for and on behalf of this little guy right here. This is Wesley Cowan. And so when I talk today, I hope that you will receive what I have to say as a dad who's here to speak on behalf of his son. I am the proud father of Wesley Cowan, a little boy who's April 23rd, 2006 fall from a swing set claimed his life and thrust those of us who love him into a years-long effort to turn pain into purpose by building schools in Kenya on the assurances of Dalal Al-Wahidi, Craig Kilberger, Mark Kilberger, and Roxanne Kilberger that those schools that we built, that we engaged donors to help us build would be named after him, would have his name on plaques on each school to give Wesley a legacy and to serve the children in Kenya. Now, I know that all of you got up this morning and you likely prepared for this hearing going through routine and procedure, but I want to assert to you something that routine and procedure are really never a good way to understanding what I hope to convey in this hearing. And that is this, that learning that We Charities and Free the Children are embroiled in scandal and that assurances made to donors are now in question feels like to me returning to my son's grave to find it broken open, defiled, and empty. It feels like the place that you thought was safe and secure for the body of your child has somehow been made unsafe, not secure, and standing there, you don't know exactly how it happened. You don't know exactly who did it, but you know something is not right. That sense of safety and security and solace is damaged, and the damage is done. That's how it feels to be here today. I want to let you know, with respect to your process, I really didn't want to be here for this hearing this morning, but from my perspective, when members of parliament request your truth, you have to oblige. I also, right off the top, want to say, in fairness to Craig Kilberger and Robin Wistawati and board member David Stillman with Free the Children and We Charities, that they indeed have blown up my phone and emails and text messages and voicemails and phone calls after I gave Craig hell over what the Bloomberg article claimed about Free the Children and We Charity and staff telling the reporters that there was often jokes that plaques should be made of Velcro because they were so often swapped out on schools that donors thought that they had built once the donors had left. I also want to say and acknowledge here, because I know media is watching, that I've had a lot of media inquiries, and for very good reasons I've held back wanting to go on the record about this. You know, I'm a member of the press myself. I don't want to do this. I don't like the amount of press that could likely come by a U.S. donor who is connected, as I am, to a presumption of millions of dollars raised, all tied back to my son and our efforts. And I have not wanted to participate in the process of selling papers or helping bloggers get web clicks for outlets or boosting ratings on the back of my beautiful son. I want to be clear about something. Wesley's name, Wesley's face, Wesley's life of 4 years and his legacy were used to make money for Free the Children and We Charities. And somehow letting media outlets make money using the same has felt painful and just too much. Before I answer your questions, I ask each of you that I can see on this screen and those that I can't to search your souls in this moment, because frankly, I don't know who the bad guys are. If there are any of you in this meeting who are seeking to use Wesley's face or name or life or legacy as a political card to play in something other than finding truth on behalf of donors, I, with respect, ask that you call off my portion of the hearing now. So that said, to frame your understanding briefly, I formed the Wesley Smiles Coalition fundraiser in the days after we left Wesley inside of his mausoleum. Our group has paid Free the Children. We paid Free the Children and We Charities out of our own pockets, none of us with a great deal of money, to travel to Kenya 3 times. We were given unlimited access to Kenya operations and staff for interviews, for documentary crews that I paid for and hired. In Salt Lake City, I believe in 2006, our efforts raised just short of $100,000. In Florida, when I partnered with one of the largest school districts in the United States of America, our fundraising brought in more than $100,000, as I believe and have been told. And I'm also aware that over the years, large checks have come in to Free the Children and We Charities via my speaking around the United States, people who saw my TED Talk, and all in, I believe that I am connected to what I presume are millions of dollars raised. In fact, as We Charities board member or Free the Children board member, David Stillman told me on a phone call recently, quote, because you did this for your son, Reed, people saw that. That got groups like Welders, like Walgreens, like Unilever, like Allstate to join. So many people went over who told us, wow, if one guy did this for his son, what can we do for our company? And they adopted villages because of you, close quote. So I want you to know something, because I believe in seeing facts on paper, and I've tried to get some of the facts on paper. I've repeatedly asked for an accounting of all monies raised connected to Wesley Cowan's legacy, and as of this date, I have not been provided that accounting. I'd like it. I've repeatedly asked for an accounting of how much money our group and our groups paid to Free the Children and we to travel to Kenya to stay in their facilities and be on their program. And so far, I have not been provided with that accounting. And as a result of the scandal, to my great mortification, I have had to contact members of the Broward School District in Florida and those who led our Salt Lake City, Utah efforts to tell them about the reports, about my discovery, and their horrible phone calls to have to make. Now, also to the bloggers and tweeters who are out there watching right now, I saw your tweets this morning. I want you to know something clearly. I'm not in a campaign against the Kilburgers or their organization. I do not wish them harm. I do not wish their families harm. I do not wish to harm any of the good work that may have been done. And very clearly, I am not, as board member David Stillman said to me on a well-transcribed phone call, out to harm the legacy of his late brother Howie, whose name is on some of the schools in Kenya. What I am doing is speaking for a child who cannot speak for himself. I'm here as Wesley Cowan's father to guard his legacy, and I want to know why his legacy feels robbed. Finally, before I take your questions, and I know eyeballs are on this, I have a request for the rich and the powerful and the well-connected, the celebrity and the corporate set who lent their power to the elevation of Free the Children and We Charities. I'm asking that you come out of hiding on this matter and go on the record as I have had to do today. Come out to vouch for Free the Children and We Charities and Mark and Craig Kilburger. Come out to open all of your records and all of your communications with them and let people like me and other donors know that you believe Free the Children and We Charities are indeed on the up and up. Prove it. Prove it with your brand and your big names. Let kids in Canada and kids in the United States know it and be done with this. And with respect, that means you, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and your family. That means every corporation that engaged with Free the Children, Walgreens and others. That means Oprah Winfrey and the members of the Oprah Angel Network and affiliates. That means pop star Demi Lovato, Nelly Furtado, Madonna, who sent her daughter Lourdes. That means Prince Harry. That means the Dalai Lama. That means Mia Farrow. That means Nate Berkus. That means Malala and any other big name whose profile and credibility and power brought Free the Children and We Charities to being that mega $1 million powerhouse on the backs of children and on the back of my late son. And I'm asking all of you that I named and anybody out there who might fall in those categories to do it within 7 days. Because hear me now, none of you have lost anything. I lost a child. And here I am in front of the camera, not wanting to be here. By stepping forward and telling the world that you vouch for Craig and Mark and We Charities and Free the Children, you've lost nothing. And this is an opportunity now, when the spotlight is on this issue, for anyone who is involved with them to use their truth and their light and their power for advocacy if there is any to be had. And if you don't, your silence says everything. And people like me, people like my donors, and legacies like Wesley Cowan's and Howie Stillman's and countless others hanging in the balance. People like me who stand feeling like the graves of their children have been robbed.